Hello, I'm Molly, and most of all, I'm eating chicken noodle soup, and my name is Chicken Noodle Soup Silly Booty.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke. This is a channel where I talk about houseplants and do DIYs on my shorts. So if you haven't, take a minute and subscribe to my channel. That way you can be up to date on all of the chicken noodle goodness. I'm just sitting here looking at things and decided to share them because I realized maybe you don't follow me on Instagram, and so you should do that because I'm on there. But I realized I don't think I shared this here on my YouTube channel, but I decided to chop some of my rare plants that I had. And I call them rare, uncommon, whatever you want to call them. I chopped them. And so I have them sitting in this beautiful vase that I also did a DIY on my shorts about. So this guy shaking the table.
That's me.
That's you. But this vase, I picked it up from dollar store, Dollar General, somewhere, and made a faux plaster, but that's on my YouTube. Maybe it's on my shorts too. Maybe I put it there. I don't really remember. Anyways, they've been sitting in here. So these are all my like rare plant cuttings I took and placed them in this vase. And so I just wanted to give them an update on them because it was a little, spur of the moment, I would say. A few of these plants had been growing out of their space. So for instance, my burley marks, variegated right here, it was growing out of its space underneath my Barina Grow Light. My Syngonium albo was taking over, and so I just decided to chop it and propagate it. And then my Ploumani, which is right here, my Philodendron Ploumani, it was also just growing so well and so large, decided to chop it. I have some painted lady cuttings in here, and then this Mayoi. I have this large Mayoi. If you haven't seen that video, I've shared it, but sitting in my living room over here, and I decided to chop it because it was growing just like one vine, which is common. One vine was taking off more than the others, and so I just decided to chop it all back, make it equal, and clean it up. And so that's what's here. I stuck them in this vase. I chopped them. I'm gonna have to go look. I'll put it on the screen, but chopped them up. I just placed these in water, so I didn't do sphagnum moss or anything like that. And look at this. I gotta go find out how far like back this was, but look at these roots. So this is my burley marks variegated. These roots that are wrapping down here, I believe, are also from this cutting, which is growing really well. But I will tell you, so water normally doesn't do awesome for me like it does. It's common for me to always have like one or two cuttings that rot out or leaves that fall off. And so number one, if you are propagating in water, use filtered water. I've talked to people and they've asked me like what's going on because my rooting isn't like, or my cutting's not rooting in the water. And so number one, I say use filtered water. Number two, it takes some time depending on the plant. Like it could take a lot longer than some plants. However, I've noticed that if I put all of the cuttings in water and then do a like dark vase, place them in a vase or something in a dark space, like just covered this, not like the actual cuttings in a dark space. But if I put them in a dark vase, then they root a lot faster. And so I've done this a couple of times, but then I have other cuttings like up here that are just in water and they have been in here longer than this guy and have not rooted yet. And they're about the same distance, I would say, from the window. Like that one has a grow light above it. This is sitting here in a southwest facing window. Now, does this get great south facing window? Like no, because you can see here, it's fairly like even low light. It's a really sunny day out today, but the last like 3 days, I would say, has been incredibly cloudy. Oh, good. And so it's very dark in this area. And so it is also covered. Like this is the patio area, like behind you, and it is covered. And so it does not get any light like it should in a southwest facing window. But anyways, all that to say is these have rooted incredibly well. And so that's a tip or a trick. Try it out. If your cutting isn't rooted, like number one, check the water. And number two, see if you can place them in a dark vase and if they will root or not. But usually I use sphagnum moss because it's consistently given me a great like cuttings and rooted cuttings. But yeah, let's see what we've got here. I want to see which ones have rooted and which one have not. And so again, here's my bouquet of, I call it my rare bouquet, but it's not, some of these are not like rare. They're just uncommon. The Burley Marks is definitely rare. I got that from a pop-up shop in Dallas, like in February. And so it's grown really well for me. And it's one of my favorite plants. Really love that plant a lot. So, okay, let's see here what we've got. So this is my first Mayoi cutting. And look at those thick roots, like that's good. So if I propagate something, I would leave them. Some people do, because this is technically like 1.5 inches of roots. Some people say after 1 inch, you can cut, like not cut them. You can place them in soil or whatever your growing medium is. I let them root out a little bit more. So this to me is great, but I'm not going to pot it up yet. Now here are my painted lady cuttings. Let's see. Ooh, this one's, it's got roots, but fairly small. So that's a for sure, like waiting to pot up. And here's the other Mayoi, which already had a crazy aerial root. This was already dead. Like I cut it off because it was growing on top of a post that I have, or a plank. Anyways, so this is a really good root. Now this one looks like awesome. It also has a growth point right here coming out. Again, like this one big root is great, but this root is like 1 inch, so I wouldn't repot it yet. Let's check out my Syngonium cutting 1. So it's like rooted this much. Pretty good. Like it's also got a new growth point right here, leaf emerging, so that's really good. I love this plant. I think that it's super beautiful. It was actually like on my list of rare plants that I would love to have years ago, and finally got it. Again at Fitzgerald, tropical plant pop-up, tropicals plant pop-up. Here is another one, and so it's rooted really well. And my Syngonium albo, I actually moved it all with all the Legos. It's right there. Again, gets southwest facing light, really far back. It sits the same level as my fridge plants, which are right there. But again, they have a grow light above them, little grow light for my propagations. Nothing major. But anyways, that's where that mother plant sits. It was sitting in our bedroom, but again, it outgrew that space. It started taking over my anthurium, and I have a Enjoy pothos there, and my, what else is there? My Monstera stanleyana. It started taking that over, my albo stanleyana. But here's another cutting. Yeah, I shared that one. So that was 2. Now here is my plow manis. Look at those little pink roots. Who would have thought? They have inner pink roots. So cute. But I love this guy. This sits in my office actually under my Sansi grow light, and it's done extremely well. There are multiple plants in one pot, and so that's why I decided to chop it up, because again, one plant was growing faster than the rest and just taking over. So I chopped it back and gave it some time to catch up. The others some time to catch up at least. Now here is a cutting. I guess I kept 3 of them. So this one's not really well rooted down here, but this one is getting there, and it has a new growth point. So that one definitely needs water, and I think I'm going to chop that again. Maybe not. Maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. We'll see. And then here's my last plow mani, and it doesn't have anything. So it has not died off. Like the leaf is still holding on, and so I'll just wait and see what happens. But yeah, those are, nothing's rooted there. Now here is another pink or painted lady right here, and it had the leaf unfurl like while I was cutting it. So it's going to be a little wonky, but has just one small rooted area, but nothing major. And then here is another Burley Marks. I think I only have 2 Burley Marks cuttings. I think I only ended up cutting that in 2 places, but it has a growth point right here and then a really long root there. Cut again, oh no, there's one more. My Syngonium, I cut it up a lot. Syngonium was growing like crazy, but that's a really good root system, and it has a new growth point right there. Here's another Burley Marks, new growth point, and it's actually got 2 new growth points, which is common for Burley Marks, I've heard. They just kind of sprout off everywhere. And so yeah, it sprouted off here and here, which is funny, but its root system is looking good. And then more syngoniums. So this one I actually need to cut because it's got roots right here. And this one has a thick root system right there. So it's doing really well. And it has a new leaf coming out of this right there. You can see. Last one. Okay, syngonium. Looks good. So yeah. Oh, no, painted lady. Another painted lady cutting, and it's looking okay. I think that's another, I don't know, I think that's a leaf, that little hot pink area. It's so cute. And then all of those little, looks like a claw. Claw. Anyways, those are that. I needed to change the water, so I had to take them all out because I've just been refilling it and it's getting mucky. But I will replace it with filtered water just like I did the first time around. Those are my cuttings though. And so yeah, I need to cut up some more. I think I'm going to cut up some more areas of these guys and place them back in, keep them in the same spot, and we'll see what happens to them. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. I'm sure a few of them I will plant back up together, but I don't know, maybe I'll just create some more plants off of them, or we'll see what happens. But oh, I just noticed this too. So this Burley Marks also has 2 growth points. So one there and one there. So that means like 2 leaf shoots are going to come off of this one plant, which is very fascinating because again, it's not common for them, for like plants or philodendron. Gosh, philodendron and pothos, like that's not a common thing. So they have it going for them. But I don't know if I'll cut this one up too. Goodness. Or I'll just leave it. So this has a good leaf, but I think I would have to chop this leaf off, which would be a bummer, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just keep letting it grow and we'll call it good. But I am going to chop up this syngonium. So that is my propagation update. That was a really short video, but I just wanted to share my bouquet of uncommon plant propagations that I have. I feel like these are the only uncommon plants that I have, maybe, or like rare plants. I think this is probably like the rarest plant that I own, which I've seen this in stores a lot lately for a very high cost. I will give it that. These are my rare plant cuttings. So I've got some new syngoniums. I got a lot of syngoniums, which I love syngoniums. So they're such easy to care for plants. So beautiful, the arrowhead vine. So I've gotten, so each like cutting can create a new plant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to cut one of them, so it'll be 6. But these guys are really beautiful, easy to care for. If you want like an albo or variegated plant that's not going to break the bank, I would suggest this guy. It's super easy to care for, beautiful plant, great variegation. Yes, it's unstable, so it always has the chance of going back to its normal state, which for him is that. This is like a good mix, and it trails and vines and climbs, and so you can do a lot with it. But it's a beautiful plant. Now my mother plant has actual white leaves, but these are just the green and white, which is what you want. So let's just start there. But anyways, that's it. That was my video for today. Thanks for watching this short clip. Make sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.